Hello everyone, my name is Charity and I'm an intuitive tarot reader. If you want to know more about the readings, all the info is in that description box. If you'd like to add your energy, just hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you be a part of the collective here. All right, let's get into this reading for you today, Scorpio. This is going to be a general overview tarot reading. All right, Spirit, please show me what's going on here for the Scorpio collective. What's going on for all the lovely Scorpios out there. What's going on here for Scorpio? Please show me what's going on here for Scorpio. All right. All right, we start out here with the Queen of Wands, Justice, and the Four of Cups. Okay. We have Temperance, the Wheel of Fortune, and the King of Cups. We have Death, that is your power card there. We have the Six of Cups, the Ace of Wands. We have the Ten of Pentacles, the World, okay. The Seven of Pentacles, okay. All right, then we have the Nine of Wands, the Knight of Swords, the King of Swords. All right. Let me check these next few cards here. Let me just make sure I know for sure where this is headed. Okay. All right. Okay, so starting out here, we have the Queen of Wands, Justice, and the Four of Cups. So, here you are as the Queen of Wands. I do feel like this is you. You know, and the Queen of Wands is a lovely energy here. You know, the Queen of Wands is someone who has a more positive disposition about her, someone who is creative, passionate, self-aware, good at communication. You know, just, you know, the Queen of Wands is a lighter energy. You know, and you want to feel better. You do. You want to feel good. So you want to do what is correct here. You want justice for all of this unhappiness that you've been having. There's been a lot of emotional disappointment here, possibly even sadness, maybe even some anger, but there's definitely been, you know, a lot of emotional unhappiness, you know, and you want to feel better. You want to make things right here with justice and not feel like this. You want to balance things. You really want things to be balanced, and you want to do what is correct, because you have been so unhappy. You've been very unhappy. So you know, you're going to get justice for yourself in some way here. Now over here we have Temperance, the Wheel of Fortune, and the King of Cups. So over time, here with Temperance, Temperance takes time. And Temperance is the inner healing of difficult emotions over a span of time. So, I mean, with Temperance plus the Wheel of Fortune, I mean, it's taken a long time, honey. And that's okay. That's all right. You know, it's not a race nor a competition. You're healing. You go at the pace that you need to go. But this has been drawn out. This process of you really healing and you know getting to a place where you have more compassion for yourself. You are more patient with yourself. You are, you are really tapping into your heart here, and you have a beautiful heart here as the King of Cups. You are someone who is very loving and caring and compassionate. You're also intuitive there as the King of Cups. But as the King of Cups, you're also, you're not afraid to express your emotions. But it's taken you a long time with Temperance to really heal your heart over some very difficult, emotions. And it's taken time, but time has passed, and your heart is in a beautiful place with the King of Cups here. Your heart is full. Your heart is very full. So, you are definitely going to feel better from this unhappiness. It's taken time, but you know, you know, you might have made this decision, back a little bit, because this is a general overview reading, so it's kind of, you know, a little bit of the past, but then it goes into the present, and then a little bit into the future. So it's kind of like past, present, and future, but it's, it's not like super far back in the past, nor is it super far into the future, usually. So, I think you might have made this decision recently, but in the past, that you want to do what is correct for you. You want things to be balanced. You want to, you really do want to make things correct, and you want to feel better from all this unhappiness. And you have been working on this over time. And because you've took the time to really stick with that healing with Temperance here, fast forward here with the Wheel of Fortune, and your heart space is very full and, ready for love. And it's beautiful. Now down here we have Death, which is your power card. So, this is you, but also, it could be the ending of a connection here, or it could be a transformation, because death is also a transformation. So either you, I think that you've been in a transformation. I do. I think that, and also a connection that you share with somebody that's showing up here as the Six of Cup connection, which the Six of Cup connection is a special, unique connection. You've known this person a long time. You have a lot of good memories with this person. When you and this person first met, you probably clicked really easily and felt like you had known each other forever and a day, even when you first met. And that's the spiritual part of it. It is a unique connection that is unlike any other connection that you share with anyone else. You and this person kind of vibe on the same frequency. And there's been a lot of love here from the past, with these. The Six of Cups is also a card of nostalgia, so it is about, all those good past memories that you've had within this connection. But with death here, you know, I think you have been going through a transformation. And I also think that this connection, I think you want to transform this connection, um, you know, because there is a new path here that you want to take. It's kind of like, you know, you have um, almost, well, there's a path here that you want to take. You have excitement here. You have, you know, passion and hope for this connection. You know, I think that you know, I do think that there was an ending with this connection. I do. But I think you are wanting to transform this connection because you do have new energy connected to this connection. So I think that you are really wanting to go down a path with this person because you have been really healing and transforming yourself, and therefore I think you want to transform this connection, um, and go down a new path with this person. Now here we have the Ten of Pentacles, the World, and the Seven of Pentacles. So, you know, the Ten of Pentacles is your life, you know, and you are very well connected here with the Ten of Pentacles. You know, this is everyone you're connected to, anything and anyone you're connected to, what the Ten of Pentacles is. So this is like everything. It's your entire environment, you know. Everything is in there. Friendships, relationships that are more romantic, you know, children, family, finances, career, job, home, you know, everything is in there. So this is your whole life, but you are cycling out something that has been a part of your life here. But you are recognizing that something, you know, has stopped growing here with the Seven of Pentacles. So whatever this is, you know, it could have been a past relationship. You know, it could be, it could have to do with your career. You know, this could be a job that, you know, that you were at for a while. But something within your life is cycling out with that world. And whatever this is, you know, it was very slow growing, and it got to a point where it became stagnant. You know, so whatever this was, you know, you got out of it as much as you could. There was no more growth to whatever this was, whether it was a relationship or a job. You know, but it is ending with the world here. You know, it's kind of like you're cycling out the things in your life that no longer grow, that no longer, you know, produce or give to you or give back to you in equal measure, or, you know, and that could be, like I said, it could be a job, it could be your career, something to do with your career, finances, you know, or it could be a relationship that you share with somebody within your Ten of Pentacles here. Yeah, something's definitely ended, you know, and, you know, this Six of Pentacles, I do feel that, I kind of feel like that is, I mean, this could be the connection that is ending. It could be. Sometimes the Six of Cups just means that you've known somebody a long time, you know, but we also have the Ace of Wands here on the end. So this might not be connected to whatever this is that you're cycling out here. because, you know, it's not always a flow through with tarot. Sometimes different sections are about different things. So this connection here that you share with someone that you would like to go down a new path with, because there was an ending, but I do believe you are wanting to transform this connection, because you have been really transforming as well, and healing a lot of difficult emotions and unhappiness over time. And, you know, your heart is in a good place here. And I think you are wanting to reconnect with someone here. I do feel you're wanting to reconnect with someone. But over here, there is something that is ending. And you would know what that is. Like I said, it could be career. It could be a relationship that you share with anyone. You know, it could be a family member. It could be a friend. It could be somebody that you were romantically connected to. Now here we have the Nine of Swords, the Knight of Swords, and the King of Swords. So you have been having anxiety and worry here. There's been a lot of stress, you know, a lot of ruminating thoughts. But you are coming in here with the Knight of Swords, you know, and kind of telling yourself, you know, to stop, ruminating, to stop, you know, maybe there was some indecision there, because you've made a decision with that King of Swords. You know that this is what you're going to do. So it's kind of like, you know, there was something that was causing you a lot of stress, a lot of worry and anxiety here. But you have made a decision with that King of Swords. You know, the King of Swords is all about truths, all about decision making and, you know, information and communication. And, you know, you have a truth here. You have a decision that you made. You know, and it could be that you cycling this out, whatever this Seven of Pentacles is, that could be what is causing this anxiety. But you are kind of telling yourself that, you know, hey, like, I made this decision as the King of Swords. You know, I know that this is correct for me. You know, because this is your most mature, intellectual, logical self here as the King of Swords. And you're telling yourself, hey, I made a decision. We're not going to, you know, stress about this anymore. We're not going to have anxiety or worry about this anymore, because I know what I'm doing. I've made up my mind. And you have. You absolutely have. Which is great. All right. Let me see. I was just checking the next three of these cards here. Okay. Let's get you some oracles here, honey. Excuse me, I do have to take a sip. I'm so sorry. I know some people don't like the sound, so you turn down your volume. So sorry about that. Let's get you some oracles here. All right. Oh, hit the camera. Let me make sure that this is still in frame. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think everything looks good. So sorry about that. All right. Let's get you some oracles here, honey. These are the Inner Wisdom Compass oracles. So let's see what's going on. Please show me what would be good or helpful for this reading for Scorpio. Please show me what would be good or helpful for this reading for Scorpio. Here we have challenge. It says, are you up to the challenge? Just because things look hard or impossible doesn't mean that they cannot be conquered or overcome. You've got this. Yes, you do. Whatever this is, honey, you've got it. You know, you do. You've got this. Yes, you know, there is some sort of loss here. You know, and it could be a person or it could be a career. You would know. But I'm going to go ahead and read this card. It says loss. Sometimes we must lose things and people to appreciate them and their value. Then other times we must lose to gain. And you know, this connection here, this Six of Cups connection that you share with someone, you know, it did end, but I believe you are wanting to transform it because you do have, you know, a new Ace of Wands here for this connection. So, you know, you might have realized that this ending of this connection in the past, when it happened, you might have realized that it made you very unhappy to not be connected to that person. So you might have really, you know, you might have really learned to appreciate them and their value more by not being connected to them. And then there's something else here. You know, it says, then other times we must lose to gain. And I think that is what is happening over here. You know, you're losing something here that it no longer works, that no longer, you know, no longer produces anything for you. Whatever this was, it stopped growing, and you can't go any further with this, I feel. And this could also be a path that you've been on in life as well, that you are cycling out, you know, and changing directions, you know, going down a new path, you know, in your life here. All right, let's get a couple more of these oracles for you. Anything else in here that would be good or helpful for this reading for Scorpio? We'll shuffle a few of these out. Anything in here that would be good or helpful for this reading for Scorpio? Please and thank you, Spirit. Thank you so much. Yeah, here we have strength, honey. You never know just how strong you really are until being strong is your only choice. Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's been difficult. You know, I know that this isn't easy, but please know that you do have the strength. You know, you are up for the challenge here. You are strong enough to overcome. You know, you are strong enough to overcome this challenge, honey. Whatever this is that is very hard or might seem impossible to overcome, you've got this. You do have the strength here. You absolutely got this, okay? Yeah, and here we have regret. It says we all have regrets about something in life. The lesson to learn is not to dwell on it. Absolutely, honey. Absolutely. You know, so true. We're human. You know, we all have regrets. We all make mistakes. You know, we just have to learn those lessons and move forward. You know, heal from them and move forward. And you've really been doing a lot of good inner healing on yourself over time. And that is beautiful. You know, you have such a full heart here. You're very loving and caring. And, you know, you love deeply and fully here. And so, you know, try not to dwell on any regrets of the past. And here we have empowered. Be empowered today to take back control of your own life and your own destiny. Yes, absolutely. Yes, honey, you are empowered. You got this. You know, you are absolutely strong enough, you know, to take back control of your life and your destiny. And this is what I see you doing here. You know, this is your life. And there has been something that is cycling out. But, you know, that is you taking control of your life. And down here, you know, you have made this decision. You're telling yourself, you know, I've made up my mind. I have got this. You know, it's kind of like you are logically telling yourself there's no need to stress. There's no need to worry. There's no need for this anxiety and these ruminating thoughts because I have made the decision. And you are absolutely empowered. You absolutely are. You have got this, honey. You absolutely got this. Yeah, and never do anything out of desperation, because in doing so, you may never regain your dignity or your reputation. And that's true. So if that resonates with anyone, you would know why. Here we have speak your truth. Never be afraid to speak your truth. Stand strong, shade the ground you walk on, and never back down from your own morals and beliefs. Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. You know, life is too short to be anything but your true authentic self, and also, you know, you got to stand up for what you believe in and your morals, you know, and never be afraid to speak your truth, you know, your authenticity, you know, so stand strong, honey. You got this. You absolutely got this. If you need to communicate and speak your truth, you do that. You have got this. You know, and we all need support every now and then, but be careful not to always be the one supporting everyone else and never being supported. There you go. I think that this is something that you've been really dealing with in your life. You know, I feel like you are the person that is always there for everyone else, but then, you know, no one's there for you. So, you know, and I think that's something that you have been, you know, doing some inner healing on. I do. You want things to be balanced. You want things to be fair and just. And that includes, you know, time, energy, and effort that people, you know, that you put into people and that you get back in return. So there has to be a good, healthy balance. You know, there has to be that reciprocity. Sorry if I said that word wrong. I have dyslexia and sometimes I get tongue-tied, so sometimes I say words a little bit funny, so I do apologize. And also, we have happiness. True happiness comes from within. Never allow anyone or anything to determine what makes you happy. Yes, absolutely. And you know, this is something that you have really, you know, been healing on. You know, I absolutely think that that's something that you've really realized, because I think in your past, you know, you were allowing people or situations, you know, to really, you know, they were really making you unhappy. But also, you know, remember that you are the one that decides what makes you happy as well. You know, true happiness does come from within, absolutely. But you are the one that gets to decide what makes you happy, who and what makes you happy. Okay? And this kind of goes back to this card, that speak your truth. I feel like these are connected. You know, do what makes you happy. Do what is correct and right for you. You know, there is going to be a karmic balance here. you know, from this unhappiness. There, you know, you will find your happiness, and I think you're headed towards your happiness. I do. I think that, I think that, you know, I think you're letting go of anything and anyone that no longer makes you happy. I think you're cycling out something that was causing you a lot of disappointment, possibly even misery. All right, let's get a couple more oracles here for you before we close out. Spirit, which oracle should I use here for? Okay, we'll use these. Okay, anything in here that would be good or helpful? Do what? Okay, yeah. Here we have choice. You're being asked to make a choice that you've been struggling with. It is time to decide what path you're going to take. Listen to your intuition, absolutely. Eliminate everyone else's input, absolutely. And feel your way into the choice that is right for you. The time is now. Yes, honey, you do what is right for you. You do what is correct for you, honey. What makes you happy, what makes you feel good. You know, don't listen to other people. Don't, you know, this is a time where you really need to listen to your intuition. You know, you are intuitive here as the King of Cups. You know, so listen to your intuition. You know, there is a choice here, but you are making a choice. You know, this was something that I think you might have went back and forth on for a long while. Possibly a really long time, maybe even months. But, you know, you are making this decision. You're taking action, and I think you're going to be communicating as well. But you know, you have made up your mind. You know what is right for you. You know, you no longer want to have this anxiety, this stress, this worry over this situation here. So there is a choice that you are making about what path to take. But honey, there's a path here that you will be taking. You know, and I do feel that that path involves you transforming some sort of special connection that you share with someone else. So, yeah. And align. You're being asked to align with your current situation, even if it's not easy to do so. Trust that there is much to be learned by being here. Pushing against what is will only make things harder on you. Align, surrender, and trust. Yes, absolutely. We got to trust the universe, honey. Trust your intuition too. You know, trust that you know what is correct for you. And you do. So don't listen to anyone else, honey. You know, make that choice on your own. You know, listen to your intuition. And I know it is hard, but it, you know, there is something here about, you know, you've been pushing against what is, and it has only been making things harder on you. So yeah, you know, it would be probably, and I think this is something that you are, you know, that you've come to realize. You know this. You know, I think that you absolutely know that you got to, you know, go with the flow and surrender and just trust that, you know, to move forward in a direction that is correct for you and to do what is right for you. But honey, the universe has got your back on this. They really do. And know your worth. Absolutely. You're being asked to honor your worth. It can be so easy to feel that we aren't good enough or worthy of happiness. This simply isn't the case. You are worthy and you have inherent value, and it's time to cherish yourself and see your true worth. Yes, honey, see your true worth. You know, you are deserving and worthy of happiness. Absolutely. You know, go after what will make you happy and bring you joy, and you know, and go towards what, you know, just know your worth, honey. You really need to honor your worth. Yeah, and there's going to be a resolution. You know, whatever it is you've been struggling with is about to be resolved. Remember that resolutions don't always happen in the way we hope or want, but being able to move forward and start fresh always brings relief. And yes, it does. It absolutely does. You know, and I know this isn't what you wanted, because I know it took you a long time, you know, to heal on this and get to a place where you know what you need to do here. So sorry about that. I had an interruption real quick. But there is going to be a resolution here, honey. There is. You know, and it might not be what the resolution you wanted, because I know that it took you a long time, I think, to get to this place, you know, where you know what to do, and you know what is correct for you, and you make a decision here, that I think you put off for a long while. There was a choice here to be made, and you had to, you had to do a lot of inner healing of difficult emotions with temperance, and that took time for you to get to this place. But you do know what is right for you and what is correct. So, I know that this isn't what you probably wanted or hoped for, but, this resolution, it is going to be able to help you move forward and start fresh. And that does bring relief. It really, truly does. So, and also speak up. What are you not saying that's eating you up inside? You can't keep this in forever. It's time to let it out so you can move on and be happy. Yeah, there's something that you need to say to somebody. So, if there's something you need to say, just know that it's okay to speak your truth, honey. Because we got this card, that says speak your truth. Never be afraid to speak your truth. Stand strong, shade the ground you walk on, and never back down from your own morals and beliefs. So I think there's something here that you do need to speak on, because I think it's something that's really been, causing you a lot of stress and anxiety on the inside here, in your mind. So, yeah, honey, say what you need to say so that you can move on and be happy and move towards what will make you happy and bring you joy, and also emotional fulfillment and, possibly love. Absolutely. I kind of feel like, you're moving in a direction towards love. But you are ending there is something cycling out, though. Absolutely. And like I said, that could be a past relationship. Yeah, it could be a past relationship. But, it could also be career related as well. But you would know. All right. All right, Scorpio. This is all I have for you today. I really hope that this helped you in some way. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to donate, the info is in the description box below. If you choose to do so, it's very much appreciated. I'm sending love and light to all, and I hope everyone has a blessed day.